saw this sloka memorization and now it is it became a very it was somewhat peaceful situation, Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your sharing your reflections. In fact, I've been also seeing in the English Bhagavatam classes in the morning also. Your participation has been really good, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Very good. So, from Canto 1, Chapter 1, is there any realizations with any devotee would like to share? Yes, Prabhu.
I don't have anything particularly about chapter 1. Regarding my realization, I am in ISKCON for last more than 20 years, and hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, and taking class also in Bhagavatam. But I never got a chance to study this systematically like this. So it is a very good experience and very useful for me because I am a preacher myself. I take Bhagavatam class, but never got a chance to study in such detail. So lot of realizations, the story of Pandavas, these are like they are leaving all the actions they have done. It's lessons for us also, because even I am in an advanced stage of age, so I have to learn from Yudhishthira Maharaj action. He had left the throne, and very simply he changed the dress, everything he abandoned, and left the house or palace. And likewise, so many instances that we can learn from. These are really reflecting for us to learn about that's like the art of living. There is a personal experience also, not only for preaching, but for self realization. What is ultimate? They are asking what is the ultimate good for the people in general. So it gives more confidence for doing devotional service, hearing from authoritative sources, not just for time pass. We are following this Krishna consciousness. There are so many people in Krishna consciousness, but this we have to learn and put into practice. So this is a great opportunity I have got myself to ponder over this the experience of the Pandavas, and for myself realize what is the ultimate goal. How should be our attitudes, because ultimately everything we have to live. So that consciousness should be there, and the ultimate goal is Krishna, the Paramapadam. So that should be our that should be my goal, and not all these material, trivial things to fight for or concentrate on. So this deep study has gave me a chance to understand the devotional life, So it's very good thing. And I will thank ISKCON Mangalore for arranging this fast track, because fast track is not suitable for me. I am one thing is I am free. I am not working on it, so I can attend this and do the necessary things for this. And also for a long time you cannot predict what's going to happen. So 2 years this will be finished. So that is also a good blessing. So once again thank the Mangalore ISKCON. Hare Krishna.
Sri Haripriya Mataji, you wanted to say something?
Prabhuji, we're sharing our realizations with Canto 1.
Yeah, I wanted to have the reflections, and if any realization also is welcome to share, Mataji.
Okay.
So, yeah, reflection
Prabhuji,
means, yeah.
Yeah, please tell.
Reflection means what I thought is that is from chapter 1, we have the questions by the sages. And then chapter 2 is divinity and divine service, like that. We have different topics, right? In each chapter is discussed. So any reflections of that, you can. And then, of course, if you have any sharing also, please, you may share.
Okay.
Please go
So, Prabhuji, from chapter 7, where the
Yeah.
son of Drona is punished,
Yeah.
from that chapter, what I have realized as a Grahastha woman and a working woman is that after seeing Draupadi's reaction to Ashwatthama, who has literally caused us so much of grief by killing all her 5 sons, the man who has murdered, despite the grief, she has argued to save his life and did not want the empathy which she chose towards Droni, the mother of Ashwatthama, Kripi, is really commendable, because in today's age, when I see around, I see women are against women. Like in real life, what happens is that in family life also there are ego clashes. Like in Grahastha life, I have gone through ego clashes, and then there are deep hurts which are very common among relatives and those who are near and dear ones. And realizing Draupadi's perspective, it has helped me to understand that holding on to resentment just to avenge, because true devotee of the Lord's, they are very forbearing and they don't avenge their anything wrong done to them. Similarly, Draupadi, she inspires, because it is holding on to resentment will only poison further the environment and spoil the relationships further. And in such situations, if women of the house who are Krishna conscious, if they choose to act with dignity and empathy towards the behavior which the other person is doing and why it is being provoked because of maybe our own actions, at times we don't think through that. So by doing so, we can actually try to maintain and subjugate, or I would say you can repair so many things surrounding and which we are interwoven in personal professional life also, and in any circuit where women are interacting also. Here the lesson which I have learned is compassion is the biggest dharma, rather than getting even with everybody in every aspect of life. And secondly, as a woman who is responsible to take care of children, family, you have husbands, you have children, you have in-laws, and then you have extended relatives, friends, colleagues. So my realization from chapter 11, whether Lord enters Dwarka and he meets all his queens in different 16,108 queens which he has, and he when he meets the queen's behavior towards the Lord is not of, like these days it is so evident in modern society, there is PDA, which is not actually the affection in most of the cases, and people go all out of the way to express their affection and love towards their beloved, which is so docile in that case that they only see the Lord and they think of him, embracing him through his eyes, And that kind of elevated sense of reciprocation in that kind of affection is truly commendable, which society should also look up to. I personally feel in that way. And similarly, there is no binary between spiritual life and housework. The Lord was in Hastinapur, staying with Subhadra, pacifying Subhadra for the loss of Abhimanyu. And during that phase of life, that time, the queens in the Dwarka, in the palaces, they were not running behind Krishna. They had Krishna within their heart. And they were doing all their householder jobs and responsibilities, taking care of the children, the household activities, looking through the parents of Krishna, and maintaining the in-laws, children, grandchildren, family, household, everything. So that itself also reflects, like in a daily life, there is cooking, cleaning, caring for the children. They all can be transformed and dovetailed into bhakti. Like we are doing it for Krishna, we are maintaining the household for Krishna, we are the servitor of Krishna. Like we are the steward kind. For example, we should assume that we are a steward of a sacred space which belongs to Krishna, because we have a small holy temple with Krishna in our house. So what I personally feel is, like these days I've seen many devotees also, they leave the household chores. Maid will cook, maid will take care of the children, maid is attending the people in the house, and she's running to the temple. I want to do this seva, I want to do this seva. I'm not against that. But the thing is, if you first satisfy the Lord's given responsibilities, the trust which Lord has given and shown into you by providing you these all people to whom you are as the caretaker of Krishna's people. If you see yourself that you are a caretaker of Krishna's people, who Krishna has chosen you and trusted you that you will take care, maintain them, sustain them, and do all your chores, then I personally feel that it becomes equal to a devotee worship only of the Lord in true sense. So Krishna consciousness has to prevail in every household, where your responsibilities assigned by Krishna has to be done as first priority, because leaving one of the assigned responsibilities and then running for the one which is visible, I think there is a, it's very controversial, but I personally feel that as a woman, it is first that your children are fed the prasadam, your household deities are cleaned every day, you do puja, you offer deities new clothes, you apply chandan gandh to the Lord, you take care of your family, in-laws, everybody, and consider it only as that your remembrance, these all are provided by Lord Krishna, and this is my duty to serve them as good as possible, because I am serving the Lord and the Lord's given duty to me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Wonderful sharing, Mataji. Very nice sharings from you, because you have related to the different learnings that we have had in Canto 1, starting from how the Kunti Devi's experiences also, right? And as you rightly said, that we should forgive even our worst enemies, he said. So that was a wonderful thing, because that can happen only when you progress in your devotional life. So if one is not progressing in a devotional life, such a situation can never be thought of, right? For a karmi, I don't think normally they would only want to show up one-upmanship or try to take revenge, right? But then
Yes, sir.
when the devotee is progressing in devotional service, what happens is you attain this. And how did we attain that? Or rather, how did we even get this thought? Is only because we have taken to the Shastras and the teachings, right? So that's
Yes.
a very good realization. And another great thing was that we should do our duty first, right? So without doing our duty, if we try to do something else, that means we are not completing the duty. I mean, I would say the responsibilities that we have been assigned. So we have to take care. At the same time, we have to take care of the Lord's duty also. And first and foremost is that we have to do our assigned tasks. So that's again a great realization. So Hari Bol Mataji, thanks for the wonderful realization.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jyoti Gupta Mataji, would you like to share? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Mataji
Hare
has
Krishna.
explained so nicely. I will not be able to be so elaborate, but I will share small learnings which I have taken away from this canto, Prabhuji. So, from Kunti Maharani's prayers, I learned this complete surrender and complete absorption. We should, like, we have to be completely, we do not actually trust Krishna sometimes. We know that is why we do. So, first, this I learned from Prabhuji, that whenever we talk nonsense, so what others are doing, what they are not doing, behave to stop unnecessary.
Mataji,
We should
sorry, your voice
speak
is breaking. I don't know it is for me or for everyone. I'm not sure.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, it
Yeah,
is not coming properly.
yeah.
If, just I'll switch the connection just a moment.
Please, Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Am I audible now, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Now it's fine. Please.
Okay, so I'll restart from Kunti Maharani's prayers. I learned the complete surrender to Krishna and complete absorption. We generally, I don't know, we are unable to surrender completely. Whatever happens, we start questioning why is it happening to me or why not, why. So this from her, she learns. I learned complete surrender. From Vidura's chapter, I learned whenever we sit together, we talk about others, we talk negatively also, we criticize others. So all prajalpas we do. So we have to stop spreading unnecessary negativity among ourselves, among others also. And we should talk when only if it is going to benefit someone, spiritually or other way. It has to be positive, it has to be beneficial. And the most important lesson which I have taken away is the everything happens by the will of the Lord, and He is Parampita. So there is no defect. It is perfect. Whatever is happening, it is His perfect plan. There is nothing to ask a question. The first step is to accept it. Do not question why is it happening to me. It has to be that He has planned something good for me. That is why it is happening. I have to be thankful that He has. Maybe I must have a lot of suffering that He has, but He has minimized it for me, and there is some good in this, and which we cannot know actually Lord's plans. No, so we have to. The important thing is it is all Lord's will. So we have to surrender. We have to in uh, I mean, we have to do service. That is all. Service in the in terms as Mataji was explaining. First of all, whatever the duties I have got as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, or whatever the roles I have to play. So first of all, my responsibilities, my duties, and keep Krishna in center. Whatever I do, keep Krishna in center in my mind. That it is the child given by Krishna, so I have to serve him, take care of him. It is the family given by Krishna, so it is my responsibility to take care of everyone. Whatever the way, Krishna has to be in the center. First duties, and then rushing to the temples. Means it is very important to go to the temple, but it should not be disturbing others. Just in complete surrender. Our dharma is to offer loving devotional service, not just the rituals we have to do. It has to be with love. So everybody around us will also be happy. I am experiencing myself. Earlier, I was doing every single thing, but nobody was satisfied. Everybody has some complaint or the other. But now, as I have started chanting 16 rounds, I have started reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. I have everything. I connect with Krishna. Whatever best I can do for offer bhoga, I try to do my best, whatever is possible with all the limitations. So I see nobody has complaints now. Everybody is satisfied. It's like watering the roots. So this is my takeaway, Prabhuji, Mataji, that it is all Lord's will. Whatever is happening, we don't have to get agitated. Just surrender and accept it. Hare Krishna.
Very bold, Mataji. Again, wonderful realizations, Mataji. As you rightly said, everything is God's will. Everything happens according to His plan, right? Because ordinary Jivatmas, we don't have anything at all, any say in it. Everything happens according to the Lord's will. So once we have this in our mind, we have read also, right? That is, once we believe in the Lord and we fully trust in Him, we have the we call it the unstinted faith in the Lord. What happens is the three miseries don't affect us, because for a devotee, we know that he accepts, he surrenders to the Lord and accepts that everything is happening because of His will. So we need not, these will affect us, that we have seen also. We have seen the story. Remember that there's a story which says that, no, why story? We can take the living example of our Guru Maharaj. So physically, we may think that he is in pain, but if you see, he is in perfect bliss and happiness, doing the service of the Lord. So what happens is, when we completely surrender to the Lord and understand that everything happens according to the will of the Lord, the three miseries no longer, bothers. So it's a good realization, Mataji. And in addition to that, time, we have to ensure that we don't neglect our responsibilities to the Lord. And once we are into that routine, everyone would respect or accept that. So again, a wonderful realization from you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So next we'll hear from Ajray Gauranga Das Prabhuji. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, my first realization comes to have always engaged with the association of devotee. To serve deities is first, because we know from the Narada episode, his previous life proves that even a simple boy can become a great saint by serving pure devotees. Bhakti begins with humble service and hearing. And the second is, as Mataji told, Kunti, Maharani Kunti prayers. The Kunti prayers coming now. Vipada Santuta Saswata Tatat Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Tat Syada Apunar Bhav Darshanam. O Lord of the universe, you are easily accessible to those who are materially exhausted, yet you are not easily understood by the proud, even though you are present everywhere. Means God is always everywhere, but those who are really decided to serve God, Lord, then they can achieve Him. But this mood is supposed to come, like we see from the Pandava episode. Always Krishna protecting the Pandavas, because they are totally depend on the Lord. And I feel personally the realization comes from Krishna always protecting them, because they are fully surrendered on Him. Even though Kunti Mahani always asking, although you are my relative, but I know you are Bhagavan, you know everything, and we should fix our mind, I'd say, to serve the Lord. Even though when the times comes to this departure of Vishnudeva, the time is so powerful, nobody can avoid these things. Time will come. So what happened to this from Vishnudeva? He totally fixed his mind on Krishna at the final moment. One attains perfection. Means we are need to fix our mind in Krishna's lotus feet, so that we will get to we will attain the perfection. So this is my realization, Prabhuji. I don't know how much it's worth, but we are trying to serve devotee first, so that we will get Vaishnava blessings.
Very well, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your realization. Yes, it's absolutely essential to serve the devotees, because serving their devotees only pleases Krishna. Because I think today's morning Bhagavatam class also, this point came up very strongly, where it was said that why does the Lord comes to this come to this world to the different incarnations, or rather, to put it simply, why does the Lord take so many incarnations? Can anyone say why does the Lord take so many incarnations?
In order to protect his
devotee.
devotees, Prabhu.
The
And
first
he
choice is
establish
protect devotee.
dharma and destroy
Prabhuji,
demons.
according to the time when he takes, what is the greatest need at time? Which quality is needed for the Lord at that time to express so as
Yeah.
to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the devotees? But which incarnation
Yeah.
needs what?
So
That
to
according
protect
to
the
that he takes.
devotees. Yeah.
Prabhuji, the main thing is to protect devotee. In the meantime, he has to establish dharma, and also same time, I say this asura. They want to kill the enemies.
So then I would like to ask one question. Can't the Lord, through his what they call unlimited potency, destroy all the evil through one stroke?
He
Through
can,
his one
Prabhu,
stroke of
but he
his
won't.
potency, he can destroy all the evils, no, sitting in Goloka Vrindavana itself.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. He can do it, but he is want to so merciful. He want to please his devotees, Prabhu. Mainly it
Absolutely.
comes for yes.
Haribol. The most important thing is that he wants to please his devotees, and only with his presence he can engage, or what do you call, he can engage with the devotees in the different rasas, right? So
Yes, Prabhu.
that cannot happen through remote. So that's why to please the devotees, only the Lord actually takes so many incarnations. So this was in fact discussed this morning in the today morning's Bhagavatam session, 8 a.m. session. So that again is a revelation for us. And as Prabhuji said, I mean, if we please the devotees, automatically we please the Lord. And the Lord itself gets so much pleased only by engaging with the devotees. So in order to destroy the evil or to establish dharma, Lord can even do through his unlimited potencies that he has got. But the main thing is that the relations or the engagement with the devotees can happen only when he comes in person, right? So that means engaging with the devotee or serving the devotee is a very, very important thing for for progression in our devotional service. So it's a very good point that you have brought up, Prabhu Haribol. So any other realizations, any other devotee would like to share from the cantos that from the chapters of Canto 1? Anyone would like to share further? Okay, then maybe I would like to ask one question, that is right from the chapter 1 itself. So how does the question of the sages become relevant, and how do you think that is also relevant to us as devotees? So Bhagavatam starts with the question of the sages, right? So from that chapter, what is our understanding, and what do you think are the relevant factors for our progress in devotional service? Any thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I'm unable
Dhanavad
to
Pranam,
raise my
Mataji.
hand. So, Prabhuji, if we remember from the Canto 1, there is a very beautiful shloka which helps us to understand what is our dharma, actually the ideal dharma, paro dharma. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshache ahetukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. So basically, if we understand, the first thing is why the sages asked the question, because they are really the pure devotees, so they are only thinking about the welfare of everyone, not for their own personal benefit. And second is, they are not really looking for anything that is materialistically available, because Everything other than the paro dharma or the devotional service is just ketav dharma. So as we understand from the from the verse number 2 of chapter 1. And so actually when a person continues to struggle in this material world, and when he realizes that whatever he is trying to get is only, it's, he gets entangled in the cycle of birth and death, when he ultimately starts to realize, like athato brahma jigyasa, when he starts inquiring, then then only he understands that yes, I will only get the real satisfaction when I'm going to dovetail all my activities, when I'm going dovetail all my activities and keep Lord Shri Krishna in the center, because that is something which is giving the real satisfaction. And that real satisfaction is the satisfaction of the soul, not of the body. That satisfaction is not associated with just the mind, that we are trying to enjoy the sense gratification. So this is the key difference, and the benefit which they are looking for is they want every single conditioned soul to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is the real reason, because otherwise it is not possible by a conditioned soul to understand all these things, because if it would have been possible, then we would not be suffering like this and enjoying the life in the in sense gratification. And that is when we get our bona fide spiritual masters, which are basically from four bona fide sampradayas. Ours is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and that is by the mercy of the Lord only. So, by the mercy of the Lord, we get our bona fide spiritual master in our life, and by their mercy, we get connected with Lord Krishna. Otherwise, from our own endeavors, we can never understand the Lord. The rendering devotional service is a very far thing until and unless we understand how to really serve the Lord. That is only possible when when our spiritual masters, our gurus who come in our life, and they direct us, they instruct us that this is the way you have to perform bhakti. Bhakti doesn't mean to perform just the worship. There are a number of ways, there are so many practical ways of understanding how we can really get connected with the Lord. So this is what is my answer, Prabhuji, to this particular thing. And it starts with chanting, because the more we chant, the more we get connected, the more we get purified actually. And when we get purified, we start getting those realizations in our life, which helps us to understand how we can really follow, how we can try to follow the instructions of our bona fide spiritual master, because there's no difference between the Lord and our spiritual master. So sakshad haritvena samasta shastre. So even all the Vedic scriptures also say that the Lord and his pure devotees, the representatives of the Lord, are non-different from the Lord. And it's everything starts with chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lovely realizations, Mataji. A very important point that you brought up is that when you started off itself is that it is for the good of everybody, right? For the good of all the people. So the questions, so whatever we ask or whatever we do should be for the good of everybody, right? So, and that realization comes when we know that, okay, we are all part and parcel of the Lord. And when we look at everyone as a part and parcel of the Lord, so that realization comes. And how do we understand that? As you rightly, while summing up, you mentioned very nicely that everything comes because of the point. What is the point? I would like any one of the devotees to say that what is very important for a person to see everybody equal. How do you reach that stage? One is, you know, that through the Shastras, and most important is that through the Guru, right? So without the help of a Guru, right, attaining that state it will be difficult for an ordinary person. So that's what Mataji brought up. So it's very nicely Mataji had summed up the realizations, from chapter 1. Thanks, Mataji. So anyone would like to add to what Mataji said?
I shared in the chat box, Prabhuji.
You can
about this.
save it. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, the various questions the saints ask,
Yeah.
that has revealed the answers throughout the Canto 1 Bhagavatam by various chapters, like Bhishma, Shruti, other things and all. So the main thing for the present day devotees, for us in ISKCON, we can have the deep realization and understanding based on the questions, the philosophy we came to know behind this devotion. And also the parampara clarity we got, the disciplic successions. And all these things removed our doubts before entering ISKCON or before coming to under our Guru Maharaj umbrella. We were in different thoughts like various gurus like Sai Ram, Sai Baba, and many other devotees, many other devotional services, various gods like that. Now we know who are all the demigods, who is the supreme godhead, the personality, like that, and all this knowledge we got, that the clarity we got. So it has given the removal of doubts. And then we have developed a stronger faith towards the Guru and also to the ultimate supreme godhead. And this made us a strength for us to preach and tell others also. Our main duty is to help others to remove their ignorance and enlighten them. For that, we need to have a good, deep knowledge. So all these things fetched us to have a better practice in Krishna consciousness. That is what I realized, Prabhuji. And also, especially from this Bhishma Shruti, although because of the bound duty, he worked for Duryodhana. Bhishma Dev was focusing on, as he knows the truth and who is the real supreme God. During his deathbed on the arrows, he was totally focused on Sri Krishna. So even in great suffering, one can fix the mind fully on Lord Krishna. He proved in that. That's why Lord personally protects and remembers his devotees at the final moment. This is the concept we learned from Bhagavad Gita, that whoever think of him at the final moment, straight away goes to his loka. So true devotion means seeing Krishna as the ultimate reality, beyond all temporary roles. So a glorious life ends perfectly when one departs remembering the Supreme Lord. This is the key message I got, Prabhuji, from Canto 1. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So that's the key message. What Prabhuji said is one of the most difficult things, right? That is remembering the Lord at the end of your life. So how do we do it?
By practice.
By practice.
From today.
So what is the practice we should do?
Chanting, chanting, chanting.
Yes, we have to do the chanting and then follow what our gurus as well as the Shastra says, be in devotee association, constantly think of Krishna. Like we have learned, it is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, right? Never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. Have total faith in him. Wonderful realization. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, then Sanika Mataji, would you like to share your...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam, Mataji. Yeah.
Prabhuji, for me, like I realized from the whole of Canto 1, there are lots of things to realize. And in fact, every chapter gives a nice, good lesson for us. But quite impressive for me is like the chapter 9, which is a Bhishma Stuti, where he says, according to Kala, Desha, and Vibhagavita. So you, wherever situation you are, wherever place you are, wherever time, whatever the time it is, don't waste time in anything else according to your place. Like in profession also, if we are there, we cannot take escape that we are in a profession, we do not get time, and we cannot do the chanting, we cannot do the following of the religious principles, or we cannot do the preaching. That also is a big thing, especially in our profession, Prabhu, where we meet so many people. So when we meet so many people, there is a very great chance for us to communicate these principles to them. You see how Bhishma Pitama, in such adverse situations, on lying down on a bed of arrows, how he still thought about the Lord. We can understand how precarious was his condition. It would have been very, very precarious, like and the bleeding and all that is happening with the water also. He could not get it, how Arjuna gave him the water lying down on the bed. So he, in that situation, if he could remember God, for we are still in a very comfortable position. What Lord has already blessed us with nice, good comforts. And then if we don't remember Lord, that is very, 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 very degradable for us. And secondly thing is that it doesn't matter whichever state we are, whatever material world we are in a good position or we're in a bad position, or we are having ups or downs of life. It is always good to how to remember Lord, how in adverse situations he remembered, in an animosity also he remembered Lord, because he was given that role to do it. So it was not that actually he was against the Lord, but he in that situation also. So in adverse situations, when we are very depressed or we are very elated, both the stages we have to remember the Lord all the time. So that is Desh Kala Vibhagat. He did not think where he is lying down, and plus how to greet people, how to treat the people who are around you. Now that is a very big Vaishnav aparadh what we do, that we do not bother for other Vaishnavas. So this is very important, how he greeted all the saints who had come. He had no place to make them sit down. He was not in his on his palace or anywhere of it. Was lying down on the ground, and then how beautifully he did it. So wisdom is what we learn from him. How wise we have to be, how patient we have to be, how focused we have to be, and how without thinking of the external conditions of life, because these material things will always be betraying us, will always be distracting us, it will all be troubling us. But in that, with those situations also, how are we supposed to always, because all situations will not be all be the same. Life is like an ECG, no? Some days up, some down, some waves are down, some waves are up. So if it becomes flat also, the ECG, that is also very dangerous. So with these circumstances, with ups and downs of life, how to be keeping at a equal pace our devotional service, the serving to the Lord. And plus for us, Prabhu, it is I feel myself very privileged. I'm thankful to Lord that I have more of people whom I'm seeing live from inside, being formed and all, because pregnant patients comes a lot, and seeing that I appreciate, and that is what I always tell the patients, that to learn that yet because of this we learned about what is Garbhadhana Sanskar, and I definitely give one Bhagavad Gita to all pregnant ones, at least read it from inside, give some knowledge to your child from inside. And that is what drives me from the Bhagavad Gita and from the Bhagavatam, how to apply this in every daily to daily life, how we can apply it so that we can proceed further in the practical way to enlighten ourselves and enlighten others also. So, and plus you sometimes tell him, okay, tell the patient that, okay, put some shlokas the child will hear in a small music, in a mild, not very high decibels. We are allowing till 70 decibels, we allow the child to hear. So that is what it helps a lot. So it has been a very big help for me, at least in my professional life and plus family life. Today also there was one class I had to take, and I was telling them, at least make a habit, 5 minutes before sleeping for your children, put something for, don't want to put anything, you put only Krishnaya Vasudevaya, put it for 5 minutes and then let the children go to sleep. So this is helping us in our practical life also, what we are learning, Prabhu. Thank you. There's lots to tell about other, but I'll give a chance to other people to speak also. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Terrible, Mataji. Thank you so much. Wonderful realization. And particularly the ECG, a flat line is never good, right? So,
so never become stagnant with bhakti.
Yeah.
Let it go up and down.
Yeah. So we definitely want to progress in our devotional life. That's very nice. And it's also nice to hear that you are sharing the Lord's message to everyone through Bhagavad Gita and Shravanam, as you very nicely explained, that if somebody can listen to our kirtans, or even if we chant and listen to that, the Shravanam is very important before going to bed, means that really, keeps the mind very calm and really helps. And another important point that you brought up about it was that first and foremost, whatever may be the circumstance, we should not neglect our devotionals, our sadhanas. So that's very important, because I know in our busy life, there's a tendency that we can, okay, can I do it tomorrow? Okay, today I'm busy, so okay, maybe tomorrow I can do things. And so whatever we have to do in a particular day, that we have to do. We have to complete our sadhanas. It's very important. Bhishma Pitama can do it in that particular situation. waters. And as you rightly said, we are all quite blessed, much more comfortable than Bhishma Pitama's position. Wonderful realizations, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Usha Kamat Mataji, you wanted to share something? I saw you had.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Pranams
Krishna.
to all. I think all the devotees previous to me have brought out all the important points, but I will reiterate them and say that in the first canto, the importance of bhakti is reiterated at every step. And we are told repeatedly that Krishna is the supreme authority, and what is the power of attentive hearing, the futility of materialism, and how to become a purer and better devotee. The definition of dharma is also given to us, and we are told how bhakti transcends all the material modes and how step by step to get there. We acquire a lot of knowledge throughout our lives. So what to do with that knowledge? The only purpose of that knowledge is to strengthen our bhakti and go towards it. And in that process, it leads to detachment, which is vairagya. Also, the role of the spiritual master is reiterated, and how to, seek the guidance of a good spiritual master and submit unconditionally, continuously, and devotedly to the spiritual master. The four pillars of dharma have also been explained very beautifully. And what is the goal of a person who is who's nearing death? How he should prepare for his death. So chanting is the primary method. Detachment, purification of ourselves by having no desires, detachment, humility and tolerance, and association of devotees. That is also told, the importance of that is also told to us. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mati. Very nicely summed up. Very nicely you brought up this point that one should definitely have bhakti. Bhakti is wisdom, and one should practice that, because just having trying to read about wisdom doesn't help, right? Real wisdom is that first understand something and then practice it also to the intent that what is being learned, right? So very nicely explained, Mataji. Thank you so much. Any other devotee would like to have any sharings, please? Would you like to share anything from Canto 1? Would you like to highlight on how Parikshit, King Parikshit received the age of Kali? Any insights on that? Yeah. So we know that somebody has done wrong, and the person is embodiment of what you call all negative things. And how did King Parikshit actually encounter that situation? Any learnings in that? Anyone would like to share something on that? Okay, we'll come back to this question. Meanwhile, Radha Vallabi Devidasi Mataji wants to share something. We'll listen to Mataji and then we'll come back to this question. Meanwhile, devotees can think about this question also. Okay, thank you. Yes, Radha Vallabi Mataji, Devidasi Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranams to everybody. I think I'm listening from two devices. One, I have to switch off. Sorry. Sorry, Prabhu. So I think most of the things have been discussed by the devotees, but a couple of points. In this age of Kali, chanting and hearing the importance of Harinam Kirtan, shelter at the lotus feet of the Guru, and associating with the devotees, how important it is. One comes to know only when one is deep into the association, when starts getting this mercy. So I talk about it because being in the corporate world for more than 25 to 30 years, one becomes very much puffed up. So there is no realization, there is always I. Even though one has been worshipping, we had our own ways of worshipping since childhood. We used to think, oh, we are the most privileged one. We are uh, doing all service to the Lord. We have all amenities and all. But the realization comes only when you have the Guru Kripa. Especially in this age of Kali, you have association of the devotees. Till that time, whatever you have been doing, I'm talking about myself, it's all waste. Because unless and until you get that mercy of the Guru, you take the shelter at the lotus feet of the Guru, that realization does not come. And that is why, when we say, when Vyasdev is saying it's a spotless Purana, it liberates one through hearing and chanting, that we have realized, at least I have realized in this journey now. I feel whatever I had done till now was a wastage. I was always in a firefighting mode, 24/7 working. For what? So I realized that after really getting the shelter of a guru and reading the books of Srila Prabhupada, and especially when one reads the Bhagavatam, the nectar flows and it is so deep. Every chapter, every shloka gives you a new meaning. I give an incident. I was told by Radhika Mataji to give lecture on the shloka, second chapter, first and two shlokas. It was just one-liner purport. But when you start realizing, understanding the real meaning of that shloka, then automatically Guru comes and gives you that understanding what actually Vyasadeva is trying to narrate in this. What Sukdev Goswami, how we have to treat the Guru, how a disciple has to, the disciple has to be first, he has to become qualified to receive that knowledge. So every chapter has so deep meaning, you know and in this age of Kali Yuga, when we are getting this mercy, it's only through Guru Shastra that we are able to get. Without the mercy of the devotees, we would have not been able to. And every chapter has a deeper meaning and a learning for us. But the chapter which touches me most is the Kunti Stuti. Everyone has ups and downs in the life, but when I had read it a decade back, it was very difficult to understand why Kunti Maharani is saying, praying to the Lord to give, asking for all troubles. Why should we go to the Lord asking for the mercy? But here Kunti Maharani is asking to get those troubles again and again. And when after reading Canto 1, and when the realization was how deep, how great that Kunti Maharani is. We say strees are not, that is what in some purpose, like, it is not like she is a leader, she is already an enlightened soul. That is why she could write such a beautiful stuti, and wherein she's he's talking about the qualification of the Lord. She's talking about what will happen when the Lord will leave us. She's talking about the lotus feet of the Lord, how much she has explained about it. And we have been coming to the temple, we say, okay, just pay obeisances. That lotus feet of the Lord, the lotus glance of the Lord, how important it is. It is only when you read such stutis, when you read the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, one gets enlightened. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Again, very nice sharing, very nice realizations, Mataji. And when you started off, saying with the corporate world and being puffed up, absolutely. Anyone in the corporate world and the world held positions will quite able to understand that realization. Not only that, in our material world, if you would see, everyone would like to be in I, right? Would like to always be in that dominant position and say, okay, and they would be puffed up and say that, okay, I did it, or I want you to do it my way or highway. There used to be one Mataji who always says that when she shares a realization, she always started off with this. I used to always tell my way or highway, but never again, never I am using that nowadays. She was also in a high position in the corporate world. So I could immediately relate to when you gave this, when you shared this realization. So unless we are humble, I don't think we can progress in our spiritual life. Not only in spiritual life, even in our personal life, if you see, most of the places quarrel happens. This is the age of quarrel. Quarrel is triggered by what? It's all because of somebody wants to be dominant, right? Or somebody wants to exploit somebody else. Forgetting about that, the supreme enjoyer, all the proprietor of everything is who? It is only Lord Krishna. That means people do not have so much of understanding or the realization about their position vis-a-vis the position of the Lord. So one who understands the devotee, who understands the position of the Lord, who understands the position of the Lord, it's only the devotee can do it. That's why one has to become a devotee. One has to start beginning to understand the Lord, because we know that no one can understand the Lord fully, right? So one has to start understanding the Lord, and with the guidance of a guru and the parampara, right? So we cannot understand the Lord. So one who starts understanding itself will get his puffed up egos, false egos, everything, completely removed. So for that, definitely bhakti is important, right? And Guru's guidance, the understanding what the Guru gives is also very, very important. And of course, the sadhu sangha is required for that, right? So the role of a Siksha Guru is also very important, and that can happen only in a sadhu sangha as well, right? So that's very, very critical aspect that for a practical application of what we learn is what you brought up, Matik. Thank you for that. And of course, you brought up this point about Kunti Shruti, right? So and almost everyone who spoke today had brought out this aspect of Kunti Shruti, because only a devotee would ask for more trouble, not troubles, we should say that more tests, right, by what the Lord gives. The more challenges what we are feeling now, we are facing now, is not really challenges, because the God is testing our purity, right? So that means we get more and more, as and when we are passing each of the tests that the Lord gives us, we are gaining more and more purity also. So that is one aspect. And another important aspect is that what was Kunti Devi's mind? Her mind was that, okay, she'll be able to be more and more engrossed in the Lord. So one has to be more and more engrossed in the Lord. So it's very, very important again for our progress in our devotional life. That's a nice point you brought out also, Mataji. So it's not asking for trouble. It's definitely the real meaning is that we are trying to become more and more engrossed in the Lord. So thanks for your lovely sharings, Mataji. Wonderful sharings today. And Hare Krishna. So any other devotee who would like to share anything before we have 10 more minutes? Any other devotee would like to share any other point? That's fine. And meanwhile, I had asked a question about Parikshit Maharaj dealing with Kali. Any realization on that, anyone? Is it a tough question, or is it a very Hare Krishna Prabhu?
Parikshit Maharaj was very much disturbed to see that this Kali Purusha is beating the Dharma and earth. So he wanted to punish him immediately. So then the Kali Purusha asked for some places. He gave 4 places, but that places were not available those time. Like meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. These places he could not find. So he asked for another place. Then the place where gold is kept, that was also given. So that mercy he had shown because they surrendered. Kali surrendered. So as practice, he should be that surrendered soul should be accommodated. So accordingly, he gave him the place. But in any case, this is all has to happen because it's all.
Hare Krishna. Any other devotee would like to comment on what Prabhuji said? Anything would like to add?
Prabhuji, what is the question? Sorry, could you just repeat?
Yeah.
Like,
sorry. So my question was the scene, where Parikshit Maharaj is actually seeing, where this is happening, right? That what is happening there? That is the Kali has entered, right? And he's seeing that the person is actually hitting the cow, right? The cow is on 3 legs. He's seeing that situation. So similarly, in our daily life, what is happening is that we are seeing situations similar to what Parikshit Maharaj is encountering. So what I wanted to understand from you, any realization wherein what we learned from Parikshit Maharaj dealing with Kali, and whether any situation is arising for us in our day-to-day life, and how would we like to react in such situations, Mataji?
okay. So Prabhuji, like these, we see that when we were not associated with ISKCON, that time we all knew that cows come under the protection of the state, and it is one of the matas out of the 7 mothers. It is one of the mothers for us. But we knew that there is everywhere prevalent this cow slaughter is also happening. But the culture of more gaushalas, I see that ISKCON has been promoting, in the awareness among the people, it has increased because of this propagation of the thought, where we emphasize that cows are to be protected and they represent the Bhudevi and the material prosperity on the earth, and that is very much required for the sustenance of the cultivation of the Brahminical culture, which in itself results in harmony and peace among the society and the upliftment of the human being to ultimately reach their goal of going back home, back to Godhead, and uplifting themselves in spiritual life. So this relevance and this relativity was unknown to so many of us, including me, that now when this clarity of thought is there after reading the Shastra and understanding it in so detail, that why is it important? We always knew that protection of cow is important, but what is the ultimate aim and goal of that particular process, and why it is so much emphasized by the Sanatan Dharms, I would say, or the culture, and why Srila Prabhupada has been enforcing that? Because in Updeshamrit, Prabhupada has always mentioned that if you have a piece of land and a cow, then that is more than enough to sustain and provide for all your requirements, which is needed for your spiritual progress, your material existence, and your relationship maintenance. So now that things are the clarity is there, so we are more into that. We are teaching our children, and whosoever comes in our contact, we also encourage them to follow 4 regulative principles and make them understand, because the more you give clarity these days, people, and especially the youth, they need more logical connection. They will simply not go, don't do cow slaughter or don't eat non-veg. They don't believe in simply accepting your theories. They want logic behind it. They want rationale behind it. And so my understanding is, when I got that rationale, I was convinced that when we give this kind of rationale and understanding with proper scientific proof, then we are able to convince more and more youth also into Krishna consciousness, make them understand the importance that this is the effects of Kali which are there, and because of which we are ourselves causing damage to our Mother Earth, which is the extreme important factor in our sustenance. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadar Pranams.
Anand Brahma, thank you very much. Thanks for your realization. Very nicely, you brought out the situation regarding, or the understanding regarding the importance of cows, and the how you actually intertwined with what the realization from this encounter of Parikshit Maharaj with Kali. So in this, yes, absolutely, cow is like a mother. So you brought the importance of the cow and the place in the society. Very nicely you brought that up. So and as you rightly mentioned, see, one can easily go overboard when we actually see a situation which is sometimes not favorable. If sometimes something is not favorable, the immediate action what comes during what a normal person in this Kali Yuga does is that it tries to get overwhelmed and act on that impulsively. But in this case, what has happened is Parishit Maharaj actually stops, chastises Kali, then reasons with him, and then eventually he also gives a solution to that. So that is the process in which we need to deal with any situation. So, for example, we see that we have good people in the society, and we have people who are not so good also, right? And we know that not so good people, they find their place eventually in a jail or in some places like that. So what happens there? The intention of the government or intention is that not to actually isolate them. But the thing is, reformation is very important. That's why even Krishna, why we are all in this Tukkalya, that is this material world, is only for our reformation, right? It is not for punishment. So the punishment is what we actually, depending upon how we have acted, we may go through certain experiences. Situation is created to go through that experience, but eventual, the objective is for reformment. So why we were all born in this material world, and similarly why people are put into the jail, are all only for reformation. It is not for any other purpose. So similarly, Kali was given a position, and his job, because we know that we also discussed in the earlier explanations what our the various devotees were mentioning, everything happens according to the God's will. So this Kali entering is also according to the God's will. And Parishit Maharaj, being a devotee, acted in all fairness the way it should be acted. He stopped, then he actually chastised, he actually he tried to reform, and then he gave a position also. The place where he gave for Kali the reward, for example, was such a way that it was not non-existent. So that means the Kali will not have any role at all, right? So that is what. But eventually he gave him in a crown, because that was the will of the Lord, wherein a place was found and given to them. But then once we actually forget the Lord, or once we forget the path that one has to take, definitely there is a fall down. So that also is what another lesson that we can take from this particular episode. Hare Krishna. So I think we had very good discussions today, good sharing by all of you, wonderful participation. So though the teacher who had to take the class could not go through that today due to certain challenges, but then I think we had made good use of today's time, discussing and bringing out our realizations of Canto 1. So thank you so much. Is there anything you wish to share before we close for today? Hope you all enjoyed the session today.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was a
Yes,
wonderful session.
Prabhuji.
Much
Yes,
enjoyed.
Prabhuji.
And we've
Yes,
learned a
Prabhuji.
lot.
Yes,
More
quite
sessions.
excellent session.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
It was
Krishna.
really nice
Yeah, very
learning experience.
interactive and very knowledgeable, Prabhu. Very
No,
nice.
no, no, no. Dhanwad Pranam. Only we learned from each other, and I learned so much from you today. So it was so nice. Thank you so much, all of you. And
Very much. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for conducting such a good
Dhanwad
session.
Pranam. So I do the
Hare
closing
Krishna,
prayers
Dandavad
and we do.
Hare
Vancha kalpadarupyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Namacharya
Hare
Haridas
Krishna.
Thakur ki jai. All glories
Hare
to the
Krishna,
Ascended
Prabhuji.
Lord.
Thank you for
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you so much.